It's really a pleasure to welcome a friend to the program today. I've interviewed her on the radio a few times, and now we get to put her on TV. Ana Loiselle is with us. She is a professional matchmaker and a relationship coach. Anything to do with relationships, dating, all of that, you are the expert, and I'm glad to see you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And you are going all over the country doing this now.
Yes, I am. I've expanded. Started here in Albuquerque,
yeah.
And now I'm doing it everywhere.
And it's also Singles Awareness Week.
Coming up.
Is it? It's next week.
It's next
I'm sorry,
week.
it's next
Starts
week.
the 15th, I know.
Singles Awareness Week.
Yeah, there's something for everything, right?
Sure is. But it's perfect for you.
It is. Yeah, so we're going to celebrate.
Describe your work. Give us a background on what you do.
Well, I'm a relationship coach first, so I help singles and couples have successful relationships. So if you're single and you're like, God, I keep meeting the wrong person over and over, I've been divorced a bunch of times, people come to see me to work out those kinks. What's happening? Why can't I meet the right person? And then I work with couples who are in a marriage who are, struggling. And then I've got the matchmaking.
Yes.
So then I work with just male executives or professionals who are looking for the one. That want a long-term relationship.
And how do you help them? Do y'all have like secret dates, or or is it like on TV? They get like a group of people in a room and then they kind of mingle.
So I actually act as a headhunter for them. So you can relate me to like an executive headhunter.
Sure.
So what I do is men hire me to find them exactly what they're looking for. I host events. I do what's called a recruiting event. So women can actually get into my database for $29. And if we've got somebody who's appropriate for the woman, then that's great. So we have a big database of women. I'm out there constantly. It doesn't behoove me to chase after somebody in the grocery store for one of my.
Like, wait a second, are you single?
Pretty much. Yeah. I came out of a dressing room one time. I was at a clothing store. Came out of the dressing room. I saw a beautiful woman. I said, "Hey, are you single?" And you should have seen her. She looked at me. She thought I was picking her up.
It's like, really? Are you interested?
Yeah. I said, "No, wait. I own a matchmaking business. So I'll do whatever it takes." Because what happens is one of the best ways to meet people is just being out and about. But people won't do that. Like they won't. They're afraid to go up and talk.
Extend themselves.
Right.
So, and some of these people, they work so much they don't have the time to actually go out there and date, and it gets exhausting.
Yeah, executives don't have the time. Professionals don't have the time. The average person spends 6 hours a week on the internet on online dating.
Wow.
By the time they put their profile up, they go through all the matches online, and then they write them, and then they actually go on the date. It's about 6 hours a week. That's a part-time job.
That is a lot.
That is a part-time.
It is a part-time job. So people who can afford to work with somebody like me, they're paying me to do that. And I can spend on average for a male client anywhere from 10 to 20 hours a week looking for what they want.
How do you vet these guys? They come to you. They're obviously successful executives,
successful
and people
guys,
like that, but you've got to interview them and make sure they're good people, right?
Oh yeah. They go through. Gosh, we spend probably 2 to 4 hours just getting to know them at the beginning. I get pictures of what they're looking for to even make sure I can find, what they want, because sometimes people can be unreasonable about their expectations.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, I want to make sure that we're going to be successful. And matchmaking has a 80% success rate, so it's much higher than online dating, which I've heard anywhere from 1 to 10% success rate on online dating. So
you have a new relationship manual that's out. It's called Rewire Your Mind for a Loving Marriage, and you said you do work with married couples as well.
Yeah.
How do you rewire your mind?
Oh boy. That
How long do you have, Larry?
that's a whole nother topic.
Is it?
Well, it's great. It's my passion. They know, neuroscience knows now that our minds are what's called soft wired, and that we really have the ability to change the way our mind is wired, and so we can learn to be different, have different skills. And what the research is showing is that in married marriages and married couples is that it's more about how they think than anything.
Yeah.
So if you think that your spouse is not such a great person, then that's how the relationship is going to be. So we can actually rewire the brain or the mind to yeah.
Well, see, that's really interesting because I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, they're not going to change. Once you're in that relationship, nothing's going to change. So even advice, marriage advice, it's not going to work. So you're saying it will work. You can change and make your marriage better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you most definitely can change. It's, do you want to change?
Yeah.
And when I work with couples, it's about each other changing. If you're coming with the intention that you need to change,
Right.
and it's
I'm
not
fine.
me, I'm
Right.
fine. Well, forget it. Forget it.
That's
'cause
not going to work.
you have to come with an open mind that you're the one that wants to change, and if your spouse
Hopefully
wants
your
to change,
partner does too.
yeah, and hopefully
Yeah.
your spouse does too. But if not, believe it or not, if
That
you
won't
if you just change, the relationship changes tons. So sometimes it can just be one person who's doing a lot of the work, and that can be frustrating to
Sure.
a person because they're like, well, why me? Why do I have to do all of it? But I say, look, one of you's got to start. So.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, it's a team sport. You can either win together or lose
Team
together.
sport. You have a new book coming out.
I do.
like this. Table for Two, the single savvy girl's guide to dating in Albuquerque.
Oh.
I wrote it specifically for Albuquerque, and I love the book. I know I wrote it, but I love it.
I'm going to have to read this because I've always joked around I'm going to write a book for dating in Albuquerque, because if you're a single woman in Albuquerque, it's very difficult.
It is.
And it's not an easy world out there.
It is. It can be difficult. What I find is that most people, I think you have to have a dating campaign. You have to work hard at it, and when people say, oh, I can't find someone, it's typically because they're not doing anything. Or maybe they've tried one avenue, like they've done internet dating, and that hasn't worked for them. But you have to there's about 6 different ways you can, find somebody. And you have to work all angles you have to make it what I call a dating campaign. You got to work hard.
So you think you should use, there's so many avenues to do that. So hire you. You need a matchmaker.
Well, I think women, especially for women, is that get in a database with a matchmaker, and it doesn't even have to be with me. It can be with me and several different matchmakers, and that's a really nice avenue to go. And then there's the online dating. There's friends. Not always the greatest way, but there's friends. Make sure to use your friends.
Sure.
There's just being out and about. And what are we missing?
Well, what's probably the most successful thing that you hear?
It's all over the map. The online dating is, I've heard different statistics, 1 to 10%. So there's a possibility. Meeting through friends, you hear that happen. You hear there's something called dating services too, which is different than a matchmaker.
Right.
And a dating service, you can do that as well. Dating services work off of just a database, and they have a pool of people that they match within that database, so you can do that. And I initially started my business that way, but have shifted to solely being a headhunter for males.
What's the biggest misconception that people have about a matchmaker? They come to you thinking one thing and it's really another.
Like a hitch or something.
Well, I think people can get uncomfortable with the idea, gosh, I have to hire somebody to go find me. What I say about that is you hire a professional to help you buy a home, you hire a professional when it comes to your legal work, you hire a professional to do your taxes.
Makes sense.
Why wouldn't you hire somebody, to help you find, that's
the person you're going to spend
the rest of your life with. It's one of the
Yeah.
most important things in your life.
It's a pretty good investment, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a really good investment. Yeah, it's a great investment.
This is, isn't this interesting
This
work?
is really interesting.
So, how are you celebrating National Singles
National
Week
Singles Week.
next week? What are you doing?
So we're going to have a recruiting party for women, because we have a couple of male gentlemen executives who are clients that I'm still scouting for, looking for the one, and so we're going to be hosting some events, and so they can go to my website to find out more about that and where women can come and see if they can be part of my database. So, and it's only $29 for a woman to join and be part of that.
Oh, that's not bad.
So that's a deal for the women out there.
It's a deal for the women. And, that's a great point, is that I actually get asked, well, why does a man have to pay and women don't? And I say, well, it would be a conflict of interest. Who am I working for? So I work just for men, finding them what they want.